Hi, my name is Emily Lindgren. I'm from San Diego, California, and this is my story. So, I was actually raised Catholic. I went to Catholic grade school from kindergarten until eighth grade, and then went to a Catholic high school also. Um, my mom is Catholic, my dad is Christian. Growing up, I didn't really realize, or my dad's like non-denominational Christian. And growing up, I didn't really realize like the difference. Obviously, I knew they went to different churches, but I didn't fully understand that difference. And then when I was about 6 or 8 years old, some neighbors moved next door, and they were both pastors. The parents were both pastors, and they had two girls who were mine and my sister's age. And so we got involved in their church. Originally, I honestly just liked it because it was fun. They had like a kids ministry, and I hadn't really grown up having that. And then as I continued like learning more about my faith, the more I realized like that's more what I align with. So there's a non-denominational church, and that's like where I still go to this day. But yeah, growing up, I was always like involved. Like we watched Veggie Tales and read Bible stories, and so there was always like Christian aspects in my life growing up. So I think probably when like my faith really became my own was probably around high school. I went to some youth group camps with the church that I was involved with, and I feel like I just really experienced like the Lord's presence in those moments, and just really like came to know the Lord's purpose for me and like His calling on my life, and just like seeing the ways that He's guided my life since then has really like shown me how much He cares about me. So I honestly just felt like the Lord calling me to Vanguard. I had actually thought about going to this other school. It was near where some of my family is. And I just really had my heart set on there. And the Lord just kind of kept saying no. And I kept like knocking on that door, and the Lord just kept being like, no, it's closed. That's not where I'm calling you to. And then honestly, like as soon as I got on Vanguard's campus for the first time, I knew that this was like where the Lord had called me. There was just such a peace about it. And I feel like I haven't really experienced that peace in like many other aspects of my life, but I knew like in that moment that this was truly where the Lord had called me. I feel like one of the best things about being at Vanguard has just been being surrounded by Christians. Being able to go to chapel multiple days a week, having people who are inviting you constantly to other Christian events, that alone has just been such a blessing in this season. And I think it is going to be so hard once I leave Vanguard this year to find that again somewhere else where I can just kind of go at any point and know that I'm reaching out to people whose faith aligns with my own and who kind of are also trying to push me in the direction towards God. In this like next season, as I'm getting ready to graduate and getting ready to move on to the next steps, I've just been kind of praying for the Lord's guidance and like where He's calling me next to. I feel like what the Lord has called me to is to be a stay-at-home mom and like homeschool my kids. And He's just given me like such a desire to like have a family. But obviously I know that there's a time in between now and then. And so just kind of asking the Lord like where He wants me next steps. And I feel like one of the biggest encouragements I've had from this season is that the Lord does give us freedom. Right now I'm like starting with grad apps, and that's really hard and really scary. It's a lot of effort. But I am so like grateful that the Lord is guiding my steps, and that I know that if I receive a no, it's the Lord saying no and not people saying no. And so I think that's just such a big encouragement, like as I'm taking these next steps and trying to figure out where the Lord's calling me in this next season. So yeah. So throughout these last 3 years, I've been on student leadership in a couple of different forms. I've worked in OSC, yeah, we got a little name change in there. And I've also done college corps all 3 years. I feel like some of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from those positions is just what a heart the faculty and staff on campus has for the students here. So many of the faculty and staff chose this position because it is a Christian school, because they do get to minister to students. And so I feel like if there is one encouragement I can leave you guys with, it's to reach out to those people, to ask for their support and guidance, especially going into my final year. One of the biggest things that I really wanted to work on this year was asking for that mentorship. And I've been able to find like 3 people who have just really been able to like mentor me in the season, and help guide my steps, and just, again, kind of leading me closer to God. Obviously, that's the goal. So yeah, I think it's just really important that like that is one of the things that we can take away from Vanguard, is that it is so small. And because of that, you can truly get to know like the faculty and staff here. But yeah, I'd also say one other thing like you can take away from my story is just how much like the Lord is guiding our steps. And I think for me, one of the things that brings me such peace is that there's nothing I can do, no step I can take that can stop the Lord's plan from coming to fruition. And so there's nothing I can do to mess up what the Lord is doing. And so I think that's just so encouraging for all of us, that no matter what, like the Lord is guiding us.